คนไทยไม่ได้มีพุทธนัดเนี่ยมันโทรศัพท์ใครมันที่เสียงออกมาตลอดมันโทรศัพท์เป็นไฟฉายเดี๋ยวนี้ก็ไม่ต้องใช้อะไรนะไม่ได้ใช้แต่โทรศัพท์นะไม่ต้องใช้สมองแล้วมีแต่โทรศัพท์อันเดียวร่างกายเดินนะพยายามหน่อยภาวนานะมันสงบบ้างไหม
มันก็เวทนาขึ้นเยอะค่ะ
เวทนาขึ้นเยอะแปลว่านั่งขึ้นเยอะนะนั่งเดิน
นั่งไม่ได้ต้องเดิน
เดินก็นั่งเก้าอี้ก็ได้ไม่ต้องขัดสมาธินะเข้าใจไหมก็นั่งเก้าอี้ก็ได้นะมัน
นั่งแล้วมันปวดหลัง
มันปวดหลังมันก็นี่มันไม่สำคัญจะนั่งเท่าไรก็นั่งสะดวกสบายและพยายามอยู่กับพุทโธก็ลมหายใจเข้าลมหายใจออกเนี่ยตั้งแต่60นะมันเสื่อมไปเสื่อมลงนะร่างกายของเรานะเดี๋ยวปวดนี้เดี๋ยวปวดโน่นเดี๋ยวไปหาหมอบ่อยๆนะเนี่ยมันเห็นไหมเห็นชัดๆนะทุกข์ของร่างกายนะเห็นชัดๆนะแต่ชาติหน้าก็เอาใหม่ใช่ไหมมันความพยายามนะแล้วคนไหนที่มีคำถามไหมทำให้ใจสงบนะหลังจากใจสงบก็พิจารณาดูร่างกายเนี่ยดูตั้งแต่เกิดมาถึงวันตายมีอะไรนะก็ไม่ได้ดูแลร่างกายเนี่ยทำงานเพื่อร่างกายแต่เจ้าของร่างกายก็ไม่ได้ดูแลจิตใจโอเคมีคำถามไหมไม่ใช่ทนร่างกายเป็นยังไงยังไหวไหม
จะป่วยแล้ว
จะป่วยแล้วยังไม่ถึงเวลาตายนะป่วยแล้วป่วยลมป่วยแล้วนะมีคำถามไหมนะมีไหมโอเคก็กับกุฏิก็ได้คนไทยก็เหมือนกันนะพยายามหน่อยนะยอมอะไรพยายามด้วยนะมันก็เห็นเดินเข้ามาเดินอะไรวันต้นก็ไม่มีทางชงกรมแต่ข้างหลังก็มีนะเวลาเดินลงมานะมีทางชงกรมอยู่2นะมันยาวก็มีก็สั้นก็มีนะใช่อันนี้แล้วที่กุฏิวิวก็เดินชงกรมก็ได้นะเมื่อเป็นคนเดียวนี่สำคัญนะเมื่อเดินในวัดก็มันไม่เหมือนเดินชงกรมนะWhen we come here to this monastery, we come here to practice. And when we start practicing, all sorts of things can happen. we should remind ourselves. I mean, the world thinks about us. Yeah, I mean, I'm talking about the Western world, not about the Asian world. The Western world, I mean, we are Danish monks, or when we live in a monastery, they think of us, of being crazy, being a recluse, being crazy. Why would we choose this path? Yeah? And with this mindset, we come, because we are born in the West. We've been educated in the West. And we have the views, most of us have the views of the West. So we come here to the monastery and start meditation. And the meditation in the West and here is different. In the West everything is, fine. In German we say Friede, Freude, Eierkuchen. I mean, peaceful, yeah, joyful, yeah, and pancake, yeah. It's an idiom for everything sabai sabai, yeah, everything is fine, and we don't want to see the dirt that is underneath. And when we come here, to practice wholeheartedly, yeah, and practice fully, we see all the dirt coming up, yeah? And some of us don't want to see the dirt, yeah, don't want to see all the shit that is in our heart, all the garbage that is in our heart. Yeah? But the path of practice is the path, it is the way to the heart. And we have to remind ourselves, especially when we come from the West, that our views and our opinions are the ones, of the West. Yeah, I mean, how should it be otherwise? How can it be otherwise? But the things that we can experience in meditation, can completely, upset our world of, our views of the world. And we should not forget, Luang Mahabodh said he said a lot of good things. Yeah? He said, the moment we ordain or the moment we come to practice, it's not, we take on the yellow robes, but the kilesas are still the same. When the kilesas are still the same, that means our views and opinions are still the same. So we view the things that we see with the views that we have, trained, for 30, 40, 50, 60 years. Yeah? And we should not, when we start to practice, we should have an open mind to what is happening. All sorts of things can happen. I've seen a lot of things and I've experienced a lot of things. I remember the first year of my practice, I was in a meditation course, yeah? And after the last sitting meditation, I still stayed on because I still wanted to practice some more. And then there was a person, and there was an Ajahn, and suddenly, after 5 minutes, a person changed from a very peaceful person into a roaring tiger. Yeah? And the Ajahn, he was a Thai Ajahn, he just sat, and talked to this person, and after a while, after 20 or 30 minutes, the person calmed down. So I asked, later on I asked the Ajahn, what happened? He said that some of the suppressed karma that comes up, and it just overtakes the person, and sometimes they don't even remember what happened during the time. Yeah? So it can happen. Yeah? It was quite frightful, when you saw this person, suddenly, really acting like a vicious tiger. And these are things that can happen. These are not crazy things. Yeah? They are not drug-induced, or, whatever label we put on. The Western world doesn't know of these things and doesn't want to know about these things. They only think about, the human realm and the and the animal realm, and for. So where was that? Yeah, normally all day long. She was a very nice and very gentle person, but she must have suppressed, a lot of anger, a lot of karma, old karma comes up, and then she just turns, after meditation, she turns into a vicious tiger. Yeah. That is just one thing that I saw. I had a meditation friend, a monk, who was meditating in a cave, and then just opposite of him, came a monk warrior without a hat, and tried to take hold of his body. And he was very strong, so he could take hold of his body, until he was such an agony, my friend, that he cried out, "Please, Luang Ta, help me, Luang Ta, please help me." And then 5 minutes later, he was back again, and the possession, was over. These things can happen. They are not normal, but they are not abnormal as well. We have to take things into account. Meditation is all about, getting access to our heart. If you just do 2 or 3 hours or 4 hours a day, nothing will come up, yeah. But if you really press, and do 12, 16 or 18 hours a day, of practicing, then, it's an opening to our heart, yeah. And whatever is stored in our heart, it will come out, yeah. It has to come out, and we have to let it go out, yeah. And we have to be understanding for other people, when we see, yeah. Of course, when we hear something falling down or thing banging, and then we can go and look, or we have to actually go and look and ask the person if something is wrong or if he needs some help, yeah. If he doesn't answer or if he said, he doesn't need any help, then we go back, yeah. Let the other people do, whatever, whatever they feel it is necessary to let out. Because if we keep it and keep it and keep it, we will never be able to let go free of it. Yeah? So we have to get free of these things that are stored in our heart. Yeah? I so often talked about it, meditation practices, about opening the attic where we have stored everything, yeah. And the cause things, come up first, and most, from my experience, for the first 2 years, the terrible things came up, yeah. There was so much pain, there was so much agony, yeah. And sometimes, sometimes in my practice, demons came, and parceled me up, it was painful and I couldn't do anything. People were slaying me, and I'm with my fist, and with my feet, I was stamped on the floor, because, it was so much pain. Yeah? These things can happen, yeah, and we have to be open-minded. We cannot view these things from the view of the world. Yeah? Just like I said, we come into the spiritual realm, and the spiritual realm is very, very different, from the from the worldly realm. Yeah? From the realm where most people live in, where they don't want to see these things. Yeah? When everybody talks about meditation, especially in the West, they want to see people go through walls, or people floating in the air, or flying through the air, or just, appearing in one place and disappearing in this place. Yeah? These are also one things, belonging to the spiritual realm. But there's a lot of shit happening also, yeah. Also dark things, happening in the spiritual realm. There are demons, we know there are 31 realms. There are demons, there are ghosts, and in Thai there's a special form of ghosts, they are called Pising, ghosts that enter the body of other people, because they long so much. And if the people are weak and cannot help itself, then they are possessed by these things, or they are possessed by demons. Just like my friend experienced. But, he was strong enough to call out for the help of Lumta, and through that, he got rid of the demon. Yeah? But it can be a very frightening experience. It doesn't mean to happen to everyone, but we should have an open mind, yeah, and especially not judge, with our Western mind, This person is under drugs, or or he has a psychosis, or he's schizophrenic. Nothing of this sort. Yeah? If you have ever seen a person possessed, by a ghost, and I've seen it. Yeah, I've seen it, several times. Yeah? Possessed, or or by a ghost, or possessed by a demon. Yeah, it's not a nice view. Yeah, and the last time I saw it, she couldn't get rid of, it was also a woman, she couldn't get rid of this. Yeah? The demon behaved terrible. It was a nasty behavior, Nobody could stand it. Yeah? And luckily there was, in the monastery I was in Germany, there was a Thai Ajahn who could deal with it. Yeah? And I observed it, for half an hour. It took him 4 hours, to caught that demon and pull it out of the person. And then afterwards, she was a completely different person. And of course, if anything possesses you, if another spirit, if another spirit or a demon takes over your body, it takes over all of your conduct, that means not only the body, but it takes over thoughts, it takes over memories, it takes over, all the senses and so on, And the person, when the spirit leaves or when the demon leaves the body, of course, how can you know anything? Yeah? I mean, it's just like you give your toolbox to somebody else and you don't know what he's done with it. And certainly this person will not tell you, this ghost will not tell you. This can happen, and we should be open-minded and we shouldn't be frightened of these things. I've seen so many things, weird people, because I understand it, weird people come to me, and then tell me all sorts of stories, and they sound reasonable when they meet demons, or other beings, other frightening spirits, But, people in the world call them crazy, he's shits, he's schizophrenic, or he's psychosis, or whatever, No, not necessarily. I am able, to distinguish between, somebody is really. Yes, I met crazy people who are really crazy, who lost all sense, of reality. But these people, who talk about these things are not crazy and are completely normal. The next day, when you see them, you can talk normally to them, reasonable to them, rational to them, and they respond in a rational way. That means, that they are not sick. They are not in the way of the Western world. Have a psychosis or schizophrenia or whatever. They are just normal people who go, through their practice. And we have to remind ourselves our practice is opening the heart. And when we open the heart, all sorts of shit can come up. And especially bad karma that we didn't like to deal with it, in the past lives or in this life, that comes up, and it can set us into a frenzy. But then, sooner or later it is over and then we are normal again, And this is, it's just like removing one of the big pieces, in the attic that, that bears the way, to the other thing. So we let it out, we open the heart, and one thing after the other we let it out. So, I do kindly ask, not to judge other people by their behavior. You don't know what they are going through. Let me be the judge. If somebody is really weird, if somebody is really obnoxious, I will take care of it, and he has to leave, if he upset. And if he doesn't want to deal with the things. But as long as somebody wants to deal with the things that come up, he can stay here and I can help him, Because, 35 years, I don't know how long I practiced, 35 years of practice, and I've seen so many things. I've experienced so many things. I've been through all sorts of things. So I can understand it, Maybe other people, I know, even in my worldly life, I had friends who hated each other, and I could understand I can be friends to both of them. Maybe it is the openness of my mind or the naivety of my mind, And naivety is not a bad thing, I'm naive. I believe people when they say something to me. But I don't judge them, or I don't try to judge them. And that is the problem, with our Western mind, with our judging mind. We judge everything, this is good, this is bad, this is crazy, this is not crazy. Be open-minded, look at it and see what is happening. Just like, with our practice, we have to observe. I try to teach you, but I'm not sure if I get through to you. If you understand what I'm saying. Maybe, maybe your brain does understand it, but it doesn't go to the heart. The heart is the important thing. It's a chitta. In Thai it is chitchai. It's a chitta heart. It's there where all these things are happening. And the moment we become calm, that's where we go. And then we open the heart. It is, for most of the people, especially coming from the West, it is closed. Our heart is closed. We don't even notice it. In the moment we open it, all these things come up. They seem to be overwhelming, and that is okay. Tell yourself, if it is overwhelming, tell yourself, only the things are coming up that I can take care of right now. I have the means to take care of. And so nothing can overwhelm you. Even it seems overwhelming, but you still can deal with it. There will be nothing coming out of your heart that will destroy you. Unless you don't want to see it. This can destroy you. Your negative, your negative feelings towards it, or your suppression of it. This can destroy you. But the things that come out, and if you look at them, and work on them, and let them go, this cannot destroy you. But we don't like to see bad things. It's the same thing with the body investigation. We don't like to see the ugliness or the filthiness of this body. We think it is a nice thing. Yes, from outside it looks nice, but if you don't wash it, if you don't take care of it, it doesn't look nice anymore. It starts to smell and to stink, and look filthy, after just 4 or 5 or 6 days. And nobody, wants to look at it anymore. And people get disgusted. Just remind yourself, when you go through a big city, you see all these homeless people, living in their filth, peeing in their pants, and stinking, we don't want to see them. We don't want to look at them. We find it disgusting. And that is the nature of the body, it is disgusting. Just because we take care of it and wash it, it doesn't seem so disgusting. But when we look underneath the skin, it is really absolutely disgusting. We don't want to see it. We don't want to see the pools. We don't want to see the blood. We don't want to see the fresh flesh. Sometimes we want to see meat, because it doesn't differ from the meat of other animals. But let's call it flesh. We don't want to see the flesh, the fresh flesh, the bloody flesh. Or we don't want to look in our stomach where the food, is still, processing. It's just like in a chemical factory that stinks. We like to eat the food, that is nice and tasty, and yet everything, that comes into the body is just, this is nice, and it smells nice, it looks nice, The moment it gets in our mouth, it is distorted and put, and turned into something that is disgusting. Even the best kind of food, the moment we use it, we pass it in our spittle, and throw it out back in our hand. We don't want to, we don't want to look at it. We don't want to eat it again, even though it is it's the same thing as we just 5 minutes ago. When we put it into the mouth, and we just spit it out, and look at it, and put it back in. We don't want it, because whatever gets into touch with the body becomes filthy, and disgusting. And we don't want to see that truth. Just like we don't want to see the things that are in our heart. We want to suppress them. But meditation is not about suppression. Practice is not about suppression. It is about, opening the heart and looking at the things and letting them go. And the more we can let go, the freer our heart is. And the freer our heart is, the more understanding it is. This is something that we have to realize, and this is something we have to understand. And we have to be understanding for each other, We have to understand, sometimes people go through a bad time, We don't have to comfort them, This doesn't help them, But we have to let them alone, But if they need some help, we can offer them some help. It is the same thing, I've seen it so often in the West, somebody is crying and we run instantly, we need to comfort this person. Let this person cry, cry out its soul, until it, calms down, and then we can ask, do you need anything? No, we want to comfort it, don't need to cry, everything is fine. No, nothing is fine, because otherwise why is he crying, I mean, he has so much pain in his heart that he cries out, So, I mean, for this person, nothing is fine, yeah? But we try, in the West, we always try to get rid of all these ugliness, that come with the human life, yeah? Comfort him, it's not so bad, yeah? For this person at the moment it's bad, so let it cry out, and afterwards we can ask him, and say, well, yeah, I mean, how can we help him? Huh? Maybe he needs some help, maybe he doesn't need some help, yeah? But the world that he is in at that moment is terrible, it's so terrible that he cries, and I mean, maybe he uses his fist and, and beats down, on him or on the bench he sits on or whatever, on the table, yeah? Let him do it. But we can't, yeah? We cannot, yeah? Because we don't want to see. And that's what we have to learn. Yeah? We have to learn to be open-minded, to see things as they are, yeah? And let things happen, yeah? Not suppressing them. Let them happen. Not trying, not trying to make them better as they are. Just look at them as they are. Yeah? And that's a part of practice. Yeah? And get rid, yeah? I mean, get rid of the Western views and opinions, yeah? I mean, I was lucky, I mean, when I came to Pantat, even though I was very carefully, when practicing meditation in the West, but I still got wrong views, I got lots of wrong views, yeah? And when I came to Pantat, Lungta took care of all the wrong views, yeah? I mean, in the morning when I was, when he gave a talk to the lay people and the monks were behind listening in what they shouldn't do, yeah, but they still listened in because they wanted to know what Lungta was saying. And then a crazy thought, one of my views came up, and then Lungta, in the sala said, oh, some people think like this is really crazy, I mean, this is wrong view, yeah. And so, I mean, over the next 2 years, I mean, he corrected all my wrong views about what is it, what is meditation, what is practice, all the wrong views that are gathered up in the West, yeah. And it took a long time, yeah. And it is not, it is not helpful to come with these views, the wrong views, because I mean, then you don't see it. It's just like you have brown glasses on, and the whole world is brown. If you have rosa, yeah, shampoo glasses on, then the whole world is shampoo. Yeah, no. I mean, take glasses that have no color. Yeah, I mean, no views, no opinions. Yeah? And then you see the world as it is. Okay, understood? I mean, the Asian countries, for the Asian culture, it is normal, not these things, yeah? Possessing, being possessed, yeah? But even Christianity used to be, but, I mean, it was demonized, I mean, no, this is just, I mean, just psychosis or something like that, yeah? Huh? It doesn't really happen, but, exorcism in the 16th, 17th century, it was quite common, yeah? People also in the West got, possessed by spirits, yeah? But nowadays psychology tells us, no, this cannot happen, yeah? What does psychology know, huh? What do the doctors know about, yeah? I mean, it is good for the world, but it is not, yeah? I mean, when we go into the spiritual realm, all sorts of things can happen, yeah? And then with an open mind, we tend to understand what is going on, yeah? But with a closed mind, of course, we don't understand, yeah? Okay, that's enough for today, yeah? If there are no if there are no questions, yeah? No questions. Monks never have questions. Michis don't have questions. Yeah, you have a question.
Do you want to say something about Upasak Day?
About what?
Upasaka Day, about today.
Uposatha Day, it is the day of the reflection on the 227 rules of the monks, yeah?
Wonderful monks.
Yeah, that's called Uposatha, observance day. Yeah? I mean, I mean, you're from India. You should understand a little bit of Pali, or Uposatha, observance, observing the 227 rules. And for the Mechis, it is observing the 8 rules. Yeah, I mean, I mean, it would be nice, to recite them, just like we recite the 227 rules, to recite the 8 rules. Yeah, we tend to forget. Yes, slide, slide, slide tended to forget, yeah. Also, it's also for the lay people who stay here, yeah. I mean, to remember. Also, you are under the 8 rules, yeah. The Samanen should recite his 10 rules, to remember, yeah. And we tend to forget, it's not so important. Yeah. Yes, I know. No. And then we recite the rules, and then we suddenly, I forgot completely about this, yeah. So that's what is Uposatha, observance day of, where we remind ourselves. I mean, it's interesting when the Lord Buddha talked about the previous Buddhas, some of the Buddhas, had observance day only once a year, yeah. Others had every 10 years, yeah. Because the people had so much sila that they didn't need to remind themselves. And then think about this world, I mean, it's so terrible. We are so forgetful, that we have to remind ourselves every 2 weeks, yeah? And even then, after 2 or 3 days, we forget. Okay?